Hello, and welcome to St. Jude and Five-ish. We all know and love them. They are often referred to as the heart of St. Jude. You guessed it, I am talking about our wonderful volunteers. St. Jude volunteers dedicate over 1,000 hours a month to the medical center, filling a need both small and large. Here to talk with us today about these extraordinary individuals is Gian Santos, Manager of Volunteer Services. Hello, Gian. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Heather. Thanks so much for having me.
So I don't think there's a caregiver at St. Jude who doesn't, a smile doesn't come to their face when they think about our wonderful volunteers. Can you tell me a little bit about who they are and where they come from?
Absolutely. We have an awesome group of volunteers, local community members ranging from 15 to 95 years of age. They really do strive to create an exceptional and positive experience for all who enter our doors. And as you know, Heather, they always serve with an open heart,
Yes.
a lending ear, and a smile. Did you know that the Guild was actually formed in 1953?
I did not. Before
Yeah.
the medical center was even erected.
I think back then they were engaging in a different form of philanthropy and really looking to fundraising opportunities and charitable events to try to build the hospital. That still continues today, but of course, it's the gift of time and also the gift of treasure.
Oh, I love it. Now, how many volunteers do we have at any given time?
About 700.
Wow.
Yeah, they serve in over 75 different departments of the hospital. And of course, some of our off-site locations as well, like the Center for Rehab and Wellness, the Knott Family Endoscopy Center, and our Yorba Linda location in Rosenbass and Shuri.
And what are some of the services that they provide?
Well, let's start off with maybe our lobby areas, providing that warm and welcoming environment, greeting people and taking them to their destination. We have volunteers that serve in a clerical capacity, supporting our caregivers and all the medical units. Some of our office locations as well. Volunteers do provide support. And of course, in our gift shop and our retail locations as well.
And what are some of the more unique areas that they serve in?
There's a lot. I guess we can start with our most popular. That's our pet therapy program.
We love the pet therapy
Yeah.
program.
We have 12 handlers and dogs, and I call the dogs the rock stars of the hospital because if you see a crowd
Yes.
gathering in the hallway,
It's
oftentimes
usually
there's
Cody
a dog.
or
Yes,
somebody.
or Aragon
Yeah,
or somebody
yeah.
like that. Yeah. We also have a lot of collaborative efforts. As you know, over the past year, we've engaged with mission integration and started a No One Dies Alone program. Our most recent collaboration is with palliative care and starting the health enhancement program. But I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our two retail operations. That, of course, is the gift shop and Expressions. The gift shop just hit a milestone. They recently completed their pledge of $500,000 to the Northwest Tower.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And how long did that take them?
It took about 5 years. And I think the most important thing for our caregivers to know is, well, first, I should start off by giving thanks and appreciation for their support of our retail environments. But it's important to note that all net profits go to support not just our gift shop and our volunteers, but all net profits go back to St. Jude. So when you purchase an item in one of those environments, it goes
You're
a long
giving
way
back, yeah.
in supporting what we do.
Obviously, this might be a hard question, but do you have one personal story that you could share about one of our volunteers that just really warmed your heart and, you might want to share with us today?
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many. There are so many. But I remember my first day at work. I was going around and rounding on all the units and introducing myself to the volunteer. I got up to the surgical waiting area, and there was a volunteer that I was introducing myself to, and she noticed a young lady in the corner, and she was crying. She seemed sad and anxious. She stopped our conversation, and together we walked towards that young lady, and she asked if there's anything she could do to be of service to her. The young lady had mentioned that her father was in surgery. He was the only family she had left. And so she was so anxious. The volunteer just got up and hugged her and told her that, I'll be your family for today. And she sat with her. I know, it makes me emotional when I think about it. But she sat with her and was her support throughout her father's surgical process. For me, that epitomizes our motto, know me, care for me, ease my way.
Yeah, I love that. Really,
beautiful
thank you.
story.
Thank you for sharing that. Now's the time of the segment, kind of
Mm-hmm.
switching gears, where we do switch gears. And I don't think it's any secret around the medical center that you are one of the best dressed caregivers that we have. And so I wanted to ask you, where did you get your sense of style? Do you have a favorite designer? Any fashion tips for us?
Gosh. Well, for me, it's derived from my wife. My wife is really good at putting articles of clothing together and mixing and matching different colors. And so just learning from her, I was able to develop my own style. In terms of designer products, I'm not really into that. I'm more of a budget conscious shopper.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, so TJ Maxx,
creative, yeah.
Marshalls. My favorite place to shop is actually Target.
Target.
Yeah, they have a great selection of casual and formal clothing, and it's affordable.
Yeah,
So
I
I like
know.
to go there.
I'm a Target-aholic myself.
Yeah,
So, well, as always, Gian, it's been such a pleasure talking with you today.
thank you, Heather.
And thank you for tuning in once again to St. Jude and 5-ish. Until we meet again, stay healthy, St. Jude.